everyone. Welcome once again to the Conduct Blueprint. And today our topic is the Yale Young African Scholars Program. And of course, if you're really watching this very video, I hope you're really planning or even applying to the Yale Young African Scholars Program right here in Africa. So what is Yale Young African Scholars Program? I get to know that many of the international students across Africa, you may not really get to know what, YYAS is all about. So Yale Young African Scholars Program is simply a summer program that is hosted around June to July. It could either be in Kenya or Zimbabwe at one of the institutions right there, or even an online program where you get to interact with very many different students or, peers and different people that are associated with Yale University. The major purpose of this very program is to expose African students to very many university related opportunities, especially ranging from Yale. So I get to know very many of you are asking this very question: why did you apply to Yale Young African Scholars in the first place? Did you even get into Yale Young African Scholars program? Well, I did really get into the Yale Young African Scholars Program way back in 2024, and these are some of the reasons I really did apply. Obviously, number one is really gonna be community. If you're really gonna ask me, I'm really gonna tell you community. I just really loved, interacting with different peers from different African countries, because this does really help you to get to know and understand your African continent in a much more better way to actually create that very big impact you really want to create as a change maker. And obviously the other thing that I really wanted to apply, the reason that really made me feel like I just really wanted to apply, and I'm really gonna be very honest with this, I also wanted to get that very cool certificate. I wanted to add something to my resume, and obviously that certificate really helps a lot and it's really very important. And besides the certificates, besides, the people, besides the network, it is just really going to help you grow personally and just move out of your comfort zone. If you keep in your comfort zone, my friend, you ain't really going to grow. That's really been told to us, like, since the time we were born, very young kids, don't stay in your comfort zone. So obviously everyone has a very different application experience, but the application process still keeps the same. You just really have to write your ACs. You have to submit your recommendation letters. You have to talk about yourself. You need to be having very cool extracurricular activities. And that is really normal. That is just going almost, any student that would really like to apply, as long as you're an African student, that's what you really need to get, But my application experience was very, very different. So basically at that very time, I was still a high school freshman. What? That was my freshman year, around 14, very young kind of kid. I really didn't know what was really going on. I really didn't know that, there was even that very program. I remember I applied 1 week to the deadline. That is really very crazy. So I really didn't know about the program, not until 1.5 weeks when my friend told me. And then I really made up my mind to apply 1 week before the portal actually closed. So this is what I did. Opened up the portal, started writing about myself, and try and make them like me, and try to talk about myself. That's in the essays, convince them, that's all I really did much, because I really didn't know what they really wanted and what they didn't want. So it's just like, trying to play my cards right in a much more kind of smarter way. And after that, all the application and everything, I just really had to submit. And the hardest part that I really experienced was pressing the submit button, because you're just like, I just really did my best, and it's just all up to you to really judge whether I'm fit for that community or not fit for that very community. So after submitting, I was really the happiest, because I had relieved myself of that very immense pressure within that 1. So like I really said, the matter of fact that I really applied 1 week to the deadline, I don't say you should apply 1 week to the deadline. Don't do that. You just really have to plan this very activity way back in time. And this is the reason as to why I'm really trying to say this. The Yale Young African Scholars Program is a very competitive, African summer program across the African continent, and it should be ranked around the top. I'm not sure of the rankings, but among the top, if not the top. If not number one, I mean, in competitiveness. So if At that very time, I wasn't really aware of the program before. That's the first thing. So if you are really, really already aware, you're 14, you're 15, you're a high school freshman, apply. Grade 9, please do, because that's the requirement. Like that's the minimum requirement. You can really do apply. And when I really submitted my application, I was really told you I was super relieved. But then things didn't really stop there. I had to wait for the decision. And the part of the decision was one of the nerve-wracking ones. Times where I couldn't really gather myself or hold myself at that very time. So I remember I was in a math class early morning, and I just really had to, open up my Potter and try to check what the decision was at that very time. And you just received this very email trying to say you have an update on your student photo. You just really go there and try to scroll through. So after scrolling down in my student Potter, I saw things flying. So at that very time, I didn't know what they meant. I continued reading. They're like, congratulations. I'm like, what? I didn't even finish the email. I dropped my phone and I just started celebrating and jumping high because what? A dream had come true for a high school freshman. And obviously, what I can really tell you is that it was a very cool experience because after that, I really went on to just really attend the program and have a much more better experience and exposure to different things that I really didn't know at that very time really existed. What I just really want to air out is that if you're really a high school freshman or a sophomore or, a junior or even a senior, you can really apply to this very program wherever you are around Africa. The only requirement for Yale Young African Scholars program is just be an African student, have good extracurricular activities, just know how to communicate, just know how to write about yourself, and everything is really going to be okay. Sure, and I can't really wait for you people to do really apply to that very program and just have the best experience you just really want to have in your high school. And if you really have any questions, I just reach out. You can comment, like the video, and actually also subscribe to my channel if you really want to get to have very many different pieces of advice ranging from high school summer programs to different ways of winning scholarships and very many other different fantastic opportunities for high school students. And actually share this very video with your friends if you felt it was really very helpful, and keep posted to the conduct's blueprint.